Welcome to the UP Notable Books Club, brought to you by the Upper Peninsula Publisher and Authors Association. Carol L. Schultz grew up in the beautiful Upper Peninsula, where she was the middle of 6 children in her family. In a neighborhood full of kids, there was always someone to spend time with outdoors. After marrying, raising children, and working outside of the home, she retired and found the time to write and paint, almost as much as she would like to. She is a self-taught artist and author of children's books. Her nature-inspired children's books gave her the outlet to write and illustrate the wonderful area in which we live. The beauty of the Upper Peninsula in northern Wisconsin, with its abundant wildlife, wooded areas, and multiple lakes and rivers, has always been an inspiration for her work. Winter is her time of year to create artwork, with the summers spent outdoors as much as possible. It is her fondest hope that readers will enjoy her work and that it will inspire them to create their own.
But this is a very exciting Zoom meeting that we're going to have, because we are going to be talking about Carol's book here, which is called The Story of Journey, the Great Horned Owl. And on the back is a picture of Journey. And here at the Crystal Falls Library, Phyllis Smith. I'm right. Phyllis. I think her name is Phyllis Smith. Phyllis Smith. She used to. Phyllis Carlson. Okay, thank you. So she was the caretaker for Journey, and Journey. Part of Journey's job, he was a working owl, was he had to do so many hours a year, going to public events. He would go to talks with elderly, nursing homes, libraries, schools. And we were really lucky because Journey came to our library and we had him here before he retired. Journey's now retired. And when Journey came, we have a very small kind of our kitchen area serves also as a meeting room. And we got in 56 people to see Journey.
Wow.
It was one of our, I don't know, it was after COVID, of course, and you're sitting there in this room just packed with kids and people and a bird, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people. So Journey was one of our biggest hits in the time that I've been here at the library. So it's really nice that, and that was before the book even. So we're really happy that she wrote this book, and we are excited to hear all about it, Carol. Don't feel bad if you see me kind of dipping in and out of the meeting, because there's a few things I have to do here. But usually we start with Victor saying a few words about UPPAA. Any UPPAA news you'd like to share? I think we're coming upon a deadline.
We are. Thank you, Evelyn. As Evelyn pointed out, I'm the current president of the Upper Peninsula Publishers and Authors Association, and I'm glad to co-present this with the Crystal Falls District Community Library. And the exciting thing for us is the deadline for the UP Reader is coming up. So if you'd like to write a story for the UP Reader, it can be fiction, it can be nonfiction, it can be humor, it can be memoir, whatever you like to write, from 500 to 4,000 words. We'd love to have your contribution, and you'll get a copy of the UP Reader, which is distributed all over the UP. One of the things that goes into the UP Reader will be the winners of the Dandelion Cottage Short Story Award, which I'm always excited to judge. So that will be a part of the UP Reader too. Now, to do that, you just have to join and become a member of UPPAA. So head on over to UPPAA.org. That's UPPAA.org. Click on Join and Renew, and you'll be able to submit stuff to UP Reader. You'll join us on May 16th, 2026 in lovely Marquette, Michigan, for the conference, which is included free in your membership, as are all of these sessions. So much for you as a writer, or even if you're just thinking about writing, you haven't written anything yet, we want to have you come join us.
Yeah. What's the deadline again?
I'm sorry. It's November 10th. Exactly.
November 10th.
30
okay.
days.
Oh, 30 days. So that's plenty of time to write 4,000 words. We can do it. All right. Well, thank you, Victor. Thank you very much. And without any further ado, I guess I want to welcome Carol, and thank you all for coming on tonight, and tell us all about your book, Carol, Journey.
Thank you, Evelyn. Oh, and congratulations. And I love your rose.
Oh, yes, thank you. It's a nice big rose and the flower. Yes, this one we don't even.
Oh.
The library tonight is kind of crazy. It's a little bit like a funeral home. There's all kinds of flowers here. It's fun and cake, but I'm alive for it, so that's the
That's
best
right.
part.
You can enjoy it. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us all about your book.
Well, this started, I knew Phyllis from working at the volunteering at the animal shelter in Quinnipiac. And I had, seen some of her programs with Journey. And there was an article in the paper about her retiring journey because he's getting old and he's a nocturnal animal. He wants to be able to sleep during the day and not go to schools with a bunch of little kids. So I talked to her one day and asked her about, would she be interested in doing a children's book on him? And she said, Carol, I would love to do a children's book on him. I just don't know the first thing about it. So I said, well, I do. I taught myself how to self-publish because I knew how difficult it is to get a book with a traditional publisher, and I wanted my illustrations to be used. So, and that's even more difficult. So that's how we started, and we got together, and she told me stories about him, and I took lots of notes. And throughout the process of doing the book, um, we would get together periodically. And then when I had it pretty much done, I spread everything out on my kitchen counter and dining room table, and she came up and went through every single page, and we made a few adjustments, but we were able to get together enough times ahead of time to really get everything in place. So and then from then on it went to the printer and so forth. And that's it. So other than that, it's just been it's been wonderful. Phyllis is a very good person and did a wonderful job all those years being a wildlife rehabilitator. So that's about it. So any questions?
All right, we're going to have Carol read through the story and I'll be presenting the pictures.
Okay.
Carol, you just tell me next or say something, turn the page whenever you're ready to get to the next page.
All right, that's perfect. Okay, so the story of Journey, the great horned owl. Journey's story begins during the cold, snowy winter of 2000 and 2001. Journey was born in an old pine tree in the Quinnipiac Cemetery of Dickinson County, Michigan. Some of the pine trees in the cemetery were 100 years old. It was a perfect place for a great horned owl to be born. You can turn. Journey was one of 2 eggs that were laid by the mother great horned owl. The great horned owl starts nesting in the winter. The incubation period, the process in which an egg develops until the young chick is ready to hatch, is usually between 30 and 37 days. The adult owls do not build a nest, but use a nest that another bird has used or will use a hollow tree or an old building. The mother owl rarely moves from the nest, protecting the eggs from the snow and cold. The father owl captures food and brings it to the mother owl while she keeps the eggs warm and safe. Turn. By the end of March to early April, the eggs have hatched. The owlets are covered in fine, soft feathers called down. The down is grayish-white. Gradually, soft, downy feathers come in that are a light brown. The mother owl still continues to keep them warm and protected, and the father continues to hunt for food for the mother and babies. Turn. In late spring, the little owl's feathers are starting to come in. They can't fly yet, but they leave the nest and move around the branches of the tree that their nest is in. They are now called branchers. By early June, the feathers of the young owls have grown in enough that they are able to start flying. They talk to each other and their parents by calling in high-pitched screeches. At first, the young owls are not very good hunters, but the parents continue to feed them during the summer. Sometimes a strong wind blowing can cause them to tumble to the ground, but the young owls climb back up the tree using their beak and sharp talons. By July, the young owls are 4 months old and are able to fly. Turn. One day, Journey hears a mouse rustling in the leaves across the road. He flew towards the rustling and did not notice the car approaching, and the people in the car did not see Journey. As Journey flies across the road, he is hit by the car. Journey lands next to a fence on the side of the road. He tries to fly, but his wing is badly injured. Journey notices a man walking towards him. The man's name is Steve. Journey tries to hide in the leaves, but Steve stops and looks at Journey and notices that he is hurt. Steve knows there is a wildlife rehabilitator named Phyllis who can help Journey. When Steve tells Phyllis about the injured owl, Phyllis and her husband Walt go to try and help the owl. They find Journey next to the fence. He is very frightened. He doesn't know Phyllis wants to help him, and he starts to click his beak and hiss at her. Turn. Phyllis cautiously approaches the frightened little owl. Phyllis has a special permit and has cared for wild animals for many years. She knows how to handle Journey very carefully. Phyllis has a special pair of thick leather gloves to protect her hands and arms from Journey's sharp talons. Because of wildlife rehabilitators like her, injured wild animals can be cared for, and most of them can be returned to the wild. Phyllis took him to a veterinarian, a doctor who cares for sick and injured animals. The veterinarian told Phyllis that Journey's wing was badly broken. He would not be able to fly anymore. Phyllis was sad for Journey, but she had an idea. She could get the permits needed, and Journey could become an educational ambassador for owls. In 2003, Phyllis and Journey began to do programs together to teach people about the magnificent owl. Phyllis named him Journey because it became his life's journey to teach humans about his species. On the bottom, with the leather straps, those are called jesses. They're thin leather straps that are placed around the owl's legs to secure him. Turn. So more facts about the great horned owl. Owls are wild animals, and it is illegal to keep them as a pet. Wildlife rehabilitators are required to have permits to care for wild animals. The great horned owl has a barrel-shaped body. They weigh between 3 and 6 pounds. Their call is hoot, hoot, hoot. The owl's eyes are large. The pupils open to let the light in and close to keep the light out. The iris is yellow. They only see in black, white, and gray. In the backs of their eyes, they have light-sensitive receptors called rods. Owls can see 100 times better in dim light than we can. The owl can't turn its eyes, but must turn its whole head to look around. However, it's an old wives' tale that an owl can turn its head in circles. It can only turn its head about 270 degrees. Turn. The ears on a great horned owl are not on top of their head, but are small slits located on the side of their head at the edge of the facial disc. The ears are asymmetrical, not the same height, on the sides of the owl's head. Ear tufts are not ears, they are just feathers. Only a quarter of owl species have ear tufts. The ear tufts on the owlet's head are covered with fine feathers and look like little puffs. Turn. The adult ear tufts are larger and covered with feathers and are used for camouflage. The tufts help to break up the shape of the owl and make it look like part of the branches around it. The facial discs surround the eyes and help to funnel sound to the owl's ears. An owl can hear a mouse a half a mile away and beneath the snow. Now that's good hearing. Turn. Their wings are large and broad compared to their body size. The leading edge of the feather has serrations, comb-like hooks on the outer edge of the feather. Because of the serrations, the great horned owl is capable of silent flight. They are able to fly without making any noise. The structure or parts of the wing also allows the owl to fly at a very low speed. Turn. Owls' feet are feathered to help insulate them against the cold. They are powerful hunters that grip their prey with their extremely sharp talons. Turn. Most of the food the owl eats are small rodents. They also eat rabbits, small mammals, and other birds. They will eat skunks, and not many animals eat skunks. Good thing the owl does not have a good sense of smell. The owl cannot digest the fur and bones of the animal it eats. They regurgitate, meaning throw up, a pellet that is made up of the fur and bones. Sometimes you can find these pellets on the ground at the base of a tree that an owl has been sitting in. And that's it. That's the end. And this talks about Phyllis. I can read this whole thing if you'd like me to.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to show a
Okay.
picture of Phyllis. I have a few pictures of the owl journey that I'll just share.
Sure.
And then we can go on from there. Get this going. You should go. A second to get this set up here.
He's an absolutely beautiful bird.
There's their publicity shot there.
Yep.
And I'll just go through some of these. And see, what's the name of the glove, Carol?
The gloves, it's just a glove, but the jesses are the little blue-green straps that they hold on to, that the human can hold on to the owl with.
Okay. And it's kind of an outdoor scene.
Yeah.
Right? Got a few more here. Sort of a profile view.
And it does seem strange that those ears on top of his head are not really ears, they're just tufts.
Yeah.
Because they do look like ears.
I love this picture in the birch trees.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Here. Nice view of the face there. And here, this is the Dickinson County Library, I believe.
I think so. Yep.
And then last we have Journey as a life model.
Yep.
And I was told that Journey was actually less wiggly than the human life models that had been previously in the art class. And there's another live presentation. I was going to show about 2 minutes of video from a bird rescue place with an owl in motion, just so we can get a
Sure.
feel for it here. And I'll have to do another share here. So start that share. Other one. Turn on sound sharing. And go over to this guy. That one. I hope we don't have to watch an ad, but bear with me if we do.
Hey everyone, Dave.
Loading. There we go.
Facebook page if you want to see those new procedures when you drop off a raptor. Now today we're going to take a closer look at the great horned owl. So the last 2 days we've looked at the barn owl, a medium-sized owl, the barred owl, another medium-sized owl. Today we're going to look at a large species of owl here in Alabama. So this is our great horned owl. She's very talkative. She is one of the types of owls that do make that hooting noise. So she'll probably constantly make that during this entire video. And so it's the common hoot owl. There's no such thing as a hoot owl. But whenever people tell us that they saw a hoot owl, we know that they're usually talking about the great horned owl. Now they get that name, great horned owl, great meaning big because of their size. Horn because she's got those tufts of feathers up there on top of her head. Those aren't horns, they're not ears. They're just tufts of feathers to help them blend in with the trees a little bit better. Now these birds aren't really blending in the trees so that they don't get eaten by another predator. Really, once these birds are full grown, nothing really messes with a great horned owl. So they're really blending with the trees so that the food they're trying to catch and eat doesn't see them. Which is going to be lots of the larger mammals, things like the possums, raccoons, skunks, rats. It's actually one of the only known predators of the skunk. Most animals don't really want to mess with a skunk because, well, skunks smell really, really bad. And this great horned owl, they don't mind catching those skunks because they have a very limited, if any, sense of smell. And so they're actually one of the only known predators of the skunks. So they do a great job making sure that our neighborhoods aren't smelling really bad by making sure the skunk populations don't get out of control. Now these birds have massive eyes. You're actually looking at the small end of her eyes. Her eyes are actually larger inside of her head. And so they widen up. They're kind of shaped like a pear. And so they widen up on the inside of her head, which allows a lot of room for rods and cones. We all have rods and cones. They're just cells on the inside of our eyes. We all have them. It helps us see color, light, shapes, all sorts of stuff. These birds, these owls, especially the nocturnal owls, since they've got such huge eyes, they've got a lot more rods and cones than we do. So that allows them at nighttime to take in all those little bits of light, whether it's the starlight, moonlight, street light, whatever.
All right, I just wanted to get a sense of seeing the owl in motion. So we will turn it back over to Carol.
Oh, well, I have this is my owl that I use for when I go to classrooms. This is a hand puppet. It's beautiful. It does show, turns its head, and there's a little lever inside that blinks its eyes. I used to let the kids do this all the time. They used to love to put their hand in here and use it and blink the eyes and everything. But then I think there was getting to be too many boogers and who knows what else on the handle in there. So I had to quit letting the kids do that. So, but they still love to see this because it's about the size of a great horned owl. So, but does anybody have any questions or?
Carol, I understand your.
Yeah, I'd like to ask what were some of were there any problems that you encountered as you chose the text for the story and as you decided what to put in or anything like that? You mentioned a little about your process, but not too much.
Yeah. When I was doing research on the owl, on the great horned owl, it made me appreciate how much research people do and the amount of, it's just amazing what the amount of research that people do in a regular book, not just a children's book. I spent a lot of time going through things to see what would be best. I probably had 100 pages of information, but knew I had to really condense it down and only pick so much. So, but I really learned a lot, but it really made me appreciate people that really do research on their books. There's so much involved with that. And when I first got together with Phyllis, she was able to give me a lot of information on everything that she had to do. She has to have permits. There's so much involved with being a wildlife rehabilitator. So I tried to add a little bit of that into the book too. I never really started out to be a writer. I started writing because I wanted to illustrate children's books, and I don't have professional background. I'm self-taught. It's something I love to do. It's a wonderful hobby. But I knew that my first little book I did was just a little fundraiser for our animal shelter, but that kind of got me the bug to do more books. So, it's basically, it's not something that you can do overnight. It took me several months because I don't do it 8 hours a day. So between the research and writing the story, once I got the story pretty much where I wanted it to be, that's when I really started doing illustrations because I could match the illustration to that page of the book. And then, I worked with Stacy at Globe Printing. So I would email stuff back and forth to her. She would give me, pretty much edit it and say, I think there needs to be a comma here or whatever. And once we got that all done, then it went to print. So it's just,
Thank you.
it's not something I'd never in a million years really thought I'd be doing this, but I'm retired and I got the time. So
Sue has a question. Go ahead, Sue.
Mute.
Oh, you have to unmute. Oh, there you
hi,
go.
Sue. There you go.
Am I now? Can you hear me?
You're
on.
good.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, so I am not an artist. I don't know anything at all about art, but I have a couple of questions as I was going through your book.
Sure.
This one now, is this watercolor? Did you do
Yes.
watercolor on
Yes, this is all watercolor.
that? All right. Do you,
Um,
I mean, the detail is exquisite. Watercolor, that's amazing.
well, I do use some ink in also
Okay,
for some of the detail. When I first started watercolor, I've done every other medium of art you can think of. But when I started doing watercolor, I just like, oh, this is what I like doing.
That's
This is it.
that's it.
And then it's just finding your style. And
Okay.
now I have a style, I guess.
Yes,
So
you do. Very definitely, and it's
thank
good.
you. Thank you. I love doing it. My husband's aunt calls it mental yoga, and that's exactly what it is, mental yoga,
Yeah. Well,
So
then on this book, for example, I think you've kind of answered my question, but you write the story first and then you illustrate it, or what? How do you go about that?
I usually do write the story first, so I have an idea of what kind of illustration I want to put with each section
Each
of the
page.
book.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I like the learning books, so I like having the first part of the story, the first part being the story, and the second part being things to learn about that particular animal or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
Okay. Yeah, I like that too. I like it. It
especially
sets
for
a nice
children,
foundation. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially for children. So, and this book really is not meant for a young child unless they have an interest in animals,
Right,
you
right.
know.
But I'm keeping one for myself. But
Oh, good.
because I love it. But I have a nephew and his grandnephew,
Uh-huh.
and his mom is she just got her PhD and she's doing some kind in wildlife something or other. I don't know what.
Oh,
And I thought that they would just finish only two, but I think they would appreciate having the book as a part of a library they will build for him.
sure.
Because they are book people, both his parents, and I just
Right.
thought it's perfect for Finn, even though it's not yet ready. He's not yet ready for it. So
Right, but
good.
you know what? He will look at the pictures, he'll look at the illustrations, and then that will even encourage him more to think,
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's wonderful.
that's
That's
a good thing.
wonderful.
Plus it's signed. I love that you signed it and that
Phyllis signed it.
Phyllis. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, I really, I really wanted Phyllis to be involved with this because, it's her story.
It is. But
It's her story, and I was able to be fortunate enough to put it to paper for her. So,
that's perfect.
So
Well, it certainly is a success. Congratulations. It's
thank you,
beautiful.
thank you, thank you.
The question. Thank you, Sue. And we got a question from Shelley. Go ahead, Shelley.
So thank you for writing this book.
Oh,
I found it, of course, it's very quick and easy.
yes,
But my questions have to do with the owl itself. And so it's injured.
yeah. Mhm.
Is it still able to fly at all? And does
No.
it get any kind of, okay.
No, because the wing was so badly damaged, it was never able to fly again because I think a lot of owls, if they have a small injury, any kind of wild animal, if it's a small injury or something that can be repaired, they do try, I think,
Mhm.
wildlife, they try to get them to be able to go back to the wild. He was not able to, so.
Mhm. So then you'd mentioned about and I hadn't thought about the fact that this owl is in these classrooms during the day and not sleeping when it should be
Right.
sleeping. How much sleep does an owl get? And does it then, like humans, does it make up for that time somehow by sleeping at some other time?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. They're nocturnal. They like to be awake at night. So I would assume that they sleep pretty much most of the day. And he is going to be, I think he's going to be 24 now.
Hmm.
And somebody said, wow, because the average age of a wild owl to live in the wild is about 18 years. So this owl, of course, you're getting a fed a rat a day, so you're being taken care of pretty well, you know. So
When Journey was here, Shelley, yeah, I mean, like I said, we had a lot of people in the library. We had 56 people, and everyone was really excited for Journey to do something.
right.
But Journey was just like really groggy. Like,
Yeah.
like they're tired. And you don't think of it because you think, oh, this owl's gonna be here and it's gonna do all these tricks. And no, not really.
No,
Not so much.
it's really not a pet.
No. I mean, he had his eyes open and he moved his
Yeah.
head a little. And
Yeah.
she did some things to get him to move his head a little more, but he wasn't
Sure.
even really having that. So
No.
yeah, they're definitely nighttime birds.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Oh,
amazing. We've seen them. We live right on the river in Spread Eagle, and I see them out there at night, like right at dusk. And when they talk about being blending into the trees and stuff, like, you really have to look for them. And then you can, once you really see them there, you can make out their outline, but they really do blend into the trees. So, and I have chihuahuas, so I'm pretty sure he's out there just waiting for a chihuahua dinner to come by. So I have to be careful.
Marion had a question.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether, I mean, I imagine that Phyllis and Journey had a relationship. I mean, they worked together all those years. Do you think
Yes.
that Journey bonded to her in some way, or she became some kind of a companion to him?
Well, I think, she feeds him.
Yeah,
She's the one that feeds him every day. So I'm sure to him, she's his lunchbox, just
yeah.
waiting for,
If nothing else. Okay, fair enough.
and it's not like he's kept in the house. He's kept in an outdoor enclosure, and, so
Cool.
it will be a very, very sad day for Phyllis when he passes on.
Yeah.
You know,
I
he's
think,
been he's been
I
such
mean,
a big part of her life.
wouldn't you say, Carol, though? I mean, there's a definite fondness for each other. I mean,
Oh, I think so.
you can
Yeah,
feel that the bird
sure.
really does like her. I mean, there is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
he
mean,
trusts her. He trusts her. That
yeah,
makes a
trust.
difference. Yeah,
Mhm.
he trusts her. So, I think that is probably the biggest thing to say. In Phyllis's, that's a wonderful thing for an animal like that, especially a wild animal, to trust a human being.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
There's
yep.
is there a message there
Yes.
saying
Yes,
Phyllis
from
here?
Phyllis.
Jay and I have a close relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Any other questions? I have one for you, Carol. Are you writing anything currently, or what's your next project?
Well, I am writing. I do have something else done, another book just about done. I'm waiting to hear back from the people that have this particular animal. They've had a lot of family issues with, mothers and, aging parents and everything. So I did tell her, if this is not done, if you're not ready until next spring, it's not going to get moldy or anything. It's just going to sit in my workroom and and wait till she's ready for me. So,
Mhm.
but my winters are really spent doing a lot of my paintings and things. So I always have a project. I am never ever bored. So, but other than that, that's probably it for at this point. unless something else
Okay.
comes up.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, any other final comments or questions? Or I just have to kind of mimic Sue there a little bit because, watercolor is an unforgiving art form and you're very good at it. So
Thank
it's
you.
really a nice, you can't erase watercolor. Yeah, so watercoloring is kind of a tough one. So really nice job and a beautiful book. And of course, our talk tonight's a little bit on the shorter side, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. Next month, we are going to be doing, I have it here. Where is it? A Face in the Rock, the tale of a Grand Island Chippewa. And the author has passed, but his wife, Patricia, is going to be speaking with us. So
Oh,
it is
very
a
cool.
UP notable classic, and we will be talking about that in November.
This
So
is
I do
Jack
hope.
Graham. I'm right here. I've listened to a
Oh, there
couple
you are.
of your programs, which I really enjoyed very much. And I know that Lauren, my late husband, would have loved to have been able to join you next month.
Mhm.
He wrote the book. I did not, but I'd be happy to talk a little bit about Grand Island, where I first went in 1937 when I was 2 years old, and have been going back every year since. My grandfather first went in the 1880s, so we have a long family tradition there. And both Lauren and I and our daughter Meg and her husband Kurt have kept that tradition going. But renovating the lighthouse at the north end of Grand Island, which we had to give up about 7 or 8 years ago when we were really too old to try to manage it because it needed quite a lot of managing. And we gave it to a nonprofit in Michigan that wanted to preserve Lake Superior. And Lauren wrote 2 books about Grand Island. He wrote a bunch of books about Russian history and the history of science, which was how he made his living. But how he loved his living was being in the UP. And the first book was called Face in the Rock, which was in many ways a children's book about the Indian experience at Grand Island before the whites like us came in. And the one that was most recently published is about a mystery at the lighthouse, which we renovated and lived in for 30 years with great joy, but in a quite primitive place. No electricity, no running water, none of those modern amenities. We added a little, but not much. And I look forward very much to be back with you. And I also taught at Northern Michigan University at one stage of the game. So that's who we are.
Well, I should have recognized you. It's just kind of I should have saw your name there and put that all together. So I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But it is a kind of a crazy day here at the library. So I hope you forgive me.
It's
And
a little
I'm
crazy day in Cambridge, Massachusetts, too.
okay. There's a full moon. So, but it's good to meet you, and I'm looking forward to your talk next month. So
Thank you.
thank
I look
you.
forward to being with you next week. Next month.
Great. That's great. Okay. Well, everyone, I hope you have a good evening and enjoy the rest of this beautiful month of October. And we will see you all in November when we'll be talking with Patricia.
You've been watching the UP Notable Books Club, brought to you by the Upper Peninsula Publisher and Authors Association. To join or for more information, please visit us at www.upaa.org or www.upnotable.com.